You are really hired, Mr. Stark.
And welcome to another exciting episode of the KLIQ Nation's Comic Book Chronicles. I am Tim D.O.G.
Yay!
And joining me tonight is the man behind the sound effects at Agent_70 on Twitter.
Sup, everybody?
And we also have at RowdyCat on Twitter.
What's up, everybody?
And as I said, we are the Comic Book Chronicles. You can go to our website, thekliqnation.com, to find previous episodes of the Comic Book Chronicles, comic book reviews, and comic book news. Follow us on our social media accounts. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google+. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast by going to iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and TuneIn Radio. And speaking of podcasts, we are a part of the Cold Slither Podcast Network, aka the CSPN media conglomerate. Go to cspn.us. Do it today.
Do it today. And
make sure to buy some Comic Book Chronicles merchandise by going to shop.cspn.us. We record live every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can tune in by going to thekliqnation.com/live every week. And if you want to join in the conversation on social media, use the hashtags Comic Book Chronicles and CBChron. This week, we're going to kick off our review portion of the show by taking a look at Marvel's new weekly event, Avengers No Surrender, which begins in Avengers number 65.
No retreat, no surrender.
All that good stuff.
675.
675.
Which I feel kind of bad now when I didn't read this. I haven't read this yet. I'm kind of skimming through it. And two, I feel kind of bad because I guess chalk it up to event fatigue, whether it's line wide or not. Like, I was slightly looking forward to this, but not enough to care as much to read it in any particular order.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it because, one, it's got my man Pepe Larraz's art on it, so it looks great. And I was following every one of the Avengers books that merged, I believe, so
yeah,
that helped. But it did seem like a lot, like, I felt it would have felt better if, like, at least one or two of the series had been building to this, but just like sort of came out of nowhere, this threat of the Earth being taken. You know, it's up to Earth's mightiest heroes, past, present, and retcon past to save today.
Right. Right. I mean, as is, kind of typical for these, Avengers events, they have to call in the reserves, call in just pretty much every hand on deck. But I thought it was nice that they started this particular story with forget D list, we're talking about like Z, maybe not Z list, we're talking about like L or M list. We're talking about the Living Lightning, who's now going by Lightning. He's working undercover. I guess he had during the what was it? The Initiative had become part of the Texas team. And, once that all fell apart, I guess he was kind of on his own and then working with law enforcement. And it's kind of funny that, the first what 3 or 4 pages of this story is kind of catching us up with the Living Lightning of all people,
which was probably needed because even longtime Avengers fans probably would be like, "Oh, right, I forgot he was an Avenger."
Yeah, right. And I thought it was funny that the splash page showing us that there was something amiss it's kind of reminiscent of DC events with the red sky.
Well, yeah, there was also near the beginning / well, I guess the beginning of Secret Wars. Well, when they had the end of days things, because this is not where they had the red sky thing going on.
Okay,
so there was that.
But so yeah, Lightning, the way I'm looking at it, he'll probably be used as the new reader focal point. Since he's been out of the game for so long, readers can view the events maybe through his eyes. But now that as I say that, I wonder if that's even going to be the case because it's so many characters and it's coming out so frequently. Are we going to have time to hear from him every week?
Right. What I was going to mention is that there's a particular story. There's a particular part of the story, and I'm going to ring the spoiler bell, because to get to one of the twists in the story, we do have to kind of spoil it. So, warning. We're about to. I guess I'm about to talk about one of the twists in the story that kind of leads us to think maybe we will see more of Lightning in the story. 1 second.
Which is kind of surprising given how they've been kind of playing some of that stuff off, or they've been in leading up to it.
Right, because apparently, as one of the as Tim was mentioning earlier, one of the key aspects of the story is that Earth has been shunted somewhere, like moved somewhere, and as a result, some of the major characters that maybe are you would I guess say core Avengers, and then they also include the X-Men. Some of them get kind of frozen in place, and
that was odd. I forgot about that.
Right, so they're frozen in place, so we're left with kind of a ragtag bunch. I mean, obviously Jane Foster Thor is among them, so we're not talking about all C-listers, but we're definitely down to a group that does include Lightning that are still active, that are still able to function because so many of the frontline characters are frozen, kind of in stasis, and we're bound to have to to see the story through some of the less well known Avengers, and we also have the retcon, the retcon character who's kind of placed in this. We know this character doesn't belong. We're just gonna have to figure out why she's there. And who I'm talking about is, and I read and I rang the spoiler bell already. I'm referring to Voyager. That's is it on the cover? No. All right, so it's not on the cover, but Voyager is the character that's been teased for a number of months now, who's wearing gold and kind of looks like her. Whatchamacallit? Was it Aisha?
Yes.
Yeah, kind of looks like Aisha. And I'm referring to the other half, the female version of Adam Warlock.
Yes, not the Another Bad Creation song.
Oh, there we go. Now I know what to look for. Thank you very much. That is funny as hell. But yeah, I mean, it was an okay start to this. I didn't think it was a bad start. It was a nice assemblage of characters, and I like the twist of a bunch of the kind of characters that you would think would take.
Sorry.
Whoa. Whoa.
Later.
I was like, what? I was like, who's invading our podcast here?
I mean, if you caught the voice, you know who, but
that is funny. I mean, but anyway, but yeah, it was a good start, I think.
Yeah, I guess we also got a potential bad thing that happened.
Yes.
Because we got this big earth shattering thing that happened, and we got these disparate, all these groups of Avengers doing whatever that we see, and in the midst of that, something happens to a longtime Avenger staple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So with it being weekly, we'll be checking in on this weekly. And next week is actually pretty interesting because we're actually gonna get the origin of Voyager, I believe.
Which didn't we already in those 0.1 issues or something?
No, that was somebody else. That was Avenger X.
Avenger X, okay. Well, but I thought she was in one of those other ones because they did like I don't know, whatever.
She was in Marvel Legacy #1. Is where we first saw her.
Okay.
And the statue.
Gotcha. Yeah, exactly. That's where they retconned her.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just as a quick aside, one of the giveaways in comic shops this week, and for those of you on the video feed, will be able to see the Avengers poster that you could get at your local comic shop. And one side is the retcon version of the cover to Avengers #1 with the Avengers plus Voyager taking on Loki. And the other side is a recoloring of a classic George Perez poster from, this is circa 1994, and this is awesome. I actually own the original, an original copy of this, an original poster, that is. And I'm thinking of maybe taking that one down, putting it, rolling it up and putting this one up, because this is a nice recoloring. So, but that's that for Avengers 675.
Alrighty. What do we want to get to next? Let's see. Go down and get to some.
I did read some DC. Oh, I totally forgot. One book.
Yeah, because you don't have too much on there. I guess another big Marvel event-ish book was Phoenix Resurrection #3.
And this was disappointing.
I don't know what to make of this series.
This is disappointing because it's meandering. What it is it's not getting to the point. We're 3 issues in, and all we have established is that we're inside the mind of either the Phoenix and or Jean Grey, and we're on this, this kind of road to discovery that she's on, trying to figure out where she is and kind of reconcile what's going on in her in her mind and dealing with her past. And meanwhile, we've got the X-Men kind of circling the globe, going to various points around the globe, dealing with like Phoenix related shenanigans. So this is 3 issues of this now. We've already had 2. This is way too many. How many issues is this series? Is it 6? Anyone know? I didn't get a physical copy of this yet. It didn't come into my shop.
Oh, I was muted. I was saying it's 5 or 6, but it's coming out weekly because they have a different artist on each issue.
Right, and I'll get to that part too. I was kind of disappointed by that this week.
I was kind of surprised Joe Bennett got on here.
Yeah, because he was.
I feel like I don't want to throw shade at him because I actually think he lives in Atlanta, I think.
Oh no!
But I thought they were gonna have like higher profile artists on it.
Well, they did for the first 2.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to, because he's mostly been he's been one of the rotating artists on Deathstroke over at DC recently.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh.
At least in the beginning, I don't know about recent issues of Deathstroke, but the first like 10 issues, I think he popped up here and there, and it was like an ensemble. It's like him with breakdowns by someone else, or he was doing the breakdowns on someone else's work.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Larry Hama was doing some art on there.
Sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to this issue. So yeah, and it's like, are they gonna use this also to resurrect other dead characters since so many dead X-Men have appeared here?
At least in the first 2 issues, not so much in this one.
Yeah, no one here. It just kind of this issue especially just kind of like went by so fast. With like nothing happening.
I agree.
So
I agree. I had a lot of problems reading this issue because you hit it right on the head. Joe, like the art was underwhelming. I'll put it that way.
yes.
And the story itself, like, as I mentioned earlier, is just not moving anywhere. This is, this could have been like half a book of, dealing with what they get here, what they finally get to here. There's all these, kind of 4-panel pages that don't do all that much in terms of storytelling. And it just slows the book down. You flip past it. It's just like, the realization of something, whereas we could have gotten so much more story out of one page. This is a very disappointing issue. I was very disappointed to read this. Like as I mentioned earlier, my shop didn't get their copies of this, so I didn't get my physical copy of this. So, I'm kind of like, well, I could have skipped this one.
Yeah, in hindsight.
I'll be paying for it when I get, when it comes into my shop this week, next week. But it's something I could have skipped because I feel like we didn't really see anything or learn anything in this.
It's 3 of 5, by the way.
Okay, so that means we got 2 more.
So it'll be done by the end of the month.
Okay. Oh no, it says 2. Does it say 2 weeks? I think it'll be in the beginning of the next month.
Okay.
At least that's what the advertisement says at the end of this book. It says in 2 weeks.
There's like 2 weeks left in the month, right? Or
3, I think.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, right.
What else do we want to get to?
Did you guys read Mr. Miracle?
Indeed.
That was a quirky read.
It's fun.
It was. You kind of like halfway through, you kind of saw where the conversation was going, but it was still like, okay,
yeah,
let's see how this goes out.
Exactly.
I had it spoiled for me beforehand, so
did you?
I mean, not a big deal, but
yeah,
still fun to see it happen. So this is the halfway point of the series, as it takes, I think, a 1 month break. And they left on a high note.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna get a skip month. Okay,
I think so.
All right. Well, what's funny about this is that I kind of figured that this would become, and I'll hit the spoiler bell, just in case people are going to read this and not want to know. Maybe they're a little bit behind. But here we go. What Tim and Roddy are referring to is something that I kind of expected going into the series, period. I actually expected this particular revelation to happen.
Did you know?
It almost seemed like a natural kind of progression in their story. But maybe that's just my perspective on it. That's all.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I would have no reason to think that it would go this way.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I guess, not necessarily not even knowing the characters, but like you never know how or what's going to happen in a story like this, because it started off kind of weird, and you don't know necessarily where it was going,
right?
Or what even that's going to play a part in, the series going forward.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's like, okay, well, this kind of came out of not necessarily. Well, no, it actually did. Kind of came out of nowhere to me.
All right. But one of the running gags in the book is that Barda and Mr. Miracle are having a conversation about home renovations while they're fighting for their lives on Apocalypse.
Yeah, just like another day. But actually, that's what was fun about the issue. It was like, okay, they're just casually having this conversation while they're just going through all these death traps and all this other stuff, and then all of a sudden, oh, by the way,
yeah, right.
And then the weird stuff happens with the glitchy pages or whatnot, and right after that happens, and I'm like, okay, and now I guess you can start to get a sense of what that stuff is,
right?
Or with that stuff, or at least it seems like. I don't know. I really still don't have that full of a clue. Because throughout the whole thing, you've been like, okay, this stuff happens, and then like, is this real, or is this, or is this something else? But not like, is it because of when it happens and what happens? It seems like you got a better sense of it now,
right?
So, but yeah, fun issue. I guess. Or do we want to spoil what happens, or is it that? Is that big deal in the grander theme?
Yeah, I was about to say I rang the bell just in case someone wants to bring it up, but I'm more than willing to let people read it because they should be reading this.
Yeah, you have a month to get caught up on all 6 issues.
Sure, there you go. All right, we'll leave it at that then. But let's just say something momentous happens for those people.
I happened to pass by a comic shop today that I don't normally go into. But I picked up the variant cover, the Gerard's variant cover for Mr. Miracle this week, and I kind of like it, kind of like poking out from a hole. Shout out to the people watching the video feed.
All right, so that's about it for Mr. Miracle, correct?
Yes. Yep. That is my one DC book this week.
That might be mine too. I don't know. Think about it. Wait.
I've got a couple more, but they're all rapid fires.
Yeah.
I think.
So actually, let me pull this one up then, since I guess could be a theme between the two books, slightly. XMen Gold Annual #1.
Ooh, I read this.
Yeah, this was cool. This is actually, I have been waiting for this issue because it is a reunion of Excalibur, which was if you did not know, it was an old 90s book with basically X-Men in Britain. You had Kitty Pryde, Nightcrawler, Rachel Gray / Summers, whatever you want to call her, and Captain Britain and Megan as a team, and it was kind of crazy and cool at the same time. Like, I was telling the guy at the shop, and I was like, this is probably one of the few books at the time that I actually kept up with.
Mm-hmm.
So having a reunion of this crew was cool with me. I'm not gonna say it disappointed, because it did, because it was like, it was cool to see them all together, because and I guess once, and now that I think about it, it was kind of like, well, this kind of seemed like something that would happen when they get together, so it wasn't that out of the ordinary, but I've kind of expected them to kind of go deep back into the Excalibur
lore.
Yeah.
I kind of get where you're coming from, because that's what I expected too. I expected to see like the TechNet, or something that was like solely in the realm of within the pages of Excalibur. What we got was a spin-off of Rachel Summers / Gray story, which was fine.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely did the job of bringing the characters together. And there is another kind of in a similar vein to Mr. Miracle, a momentous occasion that brings these characters together, and that has a twist on it.
Yeah, which is this one I'm going to go ahead and say, because I guess it'll spoil Mr. Miracle by proxy, I guess.
Right, but I'll ring the bell just in case. Hold on.
Yeah,
give me a ring the bell.
So the reason why everybody's getting together is because Megan and Captain Britain had a kid.
There you go.
And they sent an actual stork to. I thought that was kind of funny.
They couldn't send an owl; they had to send a stork. I'm like, wait, you guys got this backwards.
Yeah, but again, it's Megan, so it was like, okay, that actually kind of makes sense given who sent it.
Right.
So Kitty, Rachel, and Kurt end up going to London, and they meet up with the kid, who takes immediately to Kurt, which, like I say in my notes, like, of course she did, because who doesn't like Nightcrawler?
He's a fuzzy elf.
Yeah, Now the kicker here is that when they get there, they find that the kid is like 3 months old, but talking like an adult.
Mm.
So And nobody really blinks. I like the fact that nobody really just blinks an eye about this, and no one even asks about, like, well, why is this happening or anything, That
kid was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I love the kid. And she was just like, all matter of fact. It was like, yeah, no, you know what? I was like, okay, something's going to happen to where either this kid's going to grow up and start tearing something up or whatever the case. But no, kid stayed a kid and just kid being curious about the world and this and that and the other, but smarter than, most adults. That part was kind of real cute. I appreciated that. So in that sense, it was like, okay, yeah, like again, this seems like something that would happen in Excalibur and just be kind of just there. But yeah, like I said, it was a nice clean issue because they run into some trouble by way of like I just said, one of Rachel Gray's past enemies or something like that, and they deal with that handily. Actually, the kid handles that, which was funny. It's like during the course of the fight, and Captain Britain's kind of fussy, and the kid's like, "I know, Dad," and this and that other. So, but yeah,
and supposedly it's growing up fast, so like
right.
within a year's time, it could be future X-Men material, basically.
Which at the end of the issue, it kind of made me wonder because like they didn't say like they said to be continued, but with the question mark, kind of.
Yeah, that's the typical like annual thing. Like if you guys like it,
right,
see it again in the future.
Right. I wouldn't be opposed to more Excalibur. I may be in the minority on that one, but hey, we're getting Exiles. Why not Excalibur?
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys read the backup story?
I did. Actually, I was going to get to that. Yeah, that was kind of cute too. So basically, the short rundown was like this kid who's a fan of Storm and the X-Men, and her aunt are in New York.
Yeah, I did read that.
Yeah, and they keep trying to hunt down the X-Men, but they always keep missing them. But then they finally found her. And
when we say hunt down, we don't really mean hunt down. It's literally like jumping on the subway or getting in a cab, traveling to New York City to like the last reported sighting of the X-Men. And I thought to myself, wow, that's just particularly fanboy or fangirlish, but it's cool. It was endearing.
Yeah. She was totally fangirling out the whole time. It was like, no. And then, of course, you have people, with the mutant hate. And
mutie scum.
Mm-hmm. And she's, and she's undeterred by it, but, telling about themselves at the same time. But then they finally end up meeting Storm and fangirling out way much. So it was pretty cute.
Yeah, no, it brought a spot to my face. I thought it was a nice little backup story.
Mm-hmm. Overall, like I said, the Daniel was all right. Like I thought the front story was kind of a little short, but at the same time, it was like, oh, okay. It just didn't need to be anything crazy.
Gotcha.
It was still enjoyable.
All right. What else that needs? Oh, let me jump on XMen Blue number 19.
Oh yes,
we're talking about XMen.
You and Cullen Bunn had a chat on that one.
Say what?
You and Cullen Bunn had a little chat on that one.
Yeah, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. Because I've been writing about this series since the Cross Time Capers began. And now we finally get to see who has been behind the messing of the time stream and the time paradoxes that caused Magneto and Danger and Polaris to blink out of existence. So once that started happening, the X-Men discovered through Magneto that Magneto had been working with Charles Xavier in the past to find a way to send the original 5 X-Men back to the past, the original past. And so he had a time machine built for them, which they used to try to go back, but there were some coordinated or entered coordinates that first took them to the year 2099, where they met the X-Men 2099. Then they went to the 90s to meet Generation X before finally arriving in their intended time. But then once they got there, they interrupted a battle between Magneto and the original 5 X-Men. But if they were gone, how could Magneto be fighting them? Comes out there are some imposters that have been taking their place and are trying to be ruthless by killing Magneto and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, which is what caused the time paradoxes in the first place. And it is revealed that the perpetrators are the future evil Brotherhood from the Battle of the Atom crossover from a couple years ago. So I enjoyed those characters, so that's the reason I was glad to see that reveal. And it's funny, like, as I was reading it, I started thinking about those guys. I was like, I wonder if that's the future Brotherhood. And I was like, no, I'm not going to jump to the end. Let me keep reading slowly and slowly. And then I got there and I was like, yeah.
And you're right.
I was right.
Was that, you did an article on this? Did you have that in there?
Yes.
Yeah. So, which if you're watching the video, you'll see the show notes under me. That article will be in there.
Yeah. So there's still one more issue to go.
Oh, right, because Blue's ending, right?
No,
in this cross time caper.
In the arc. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the arc ends. Yeah. So I want to see. I'm curious to see how everything is resolved, because obviously the series is going to continue because they have a crossover with Venom coming up. Poison X, I think it's called.
What? Oh God.
So obviously they're going to stay in the prison.
Sorry, like you could actually hear my eyes rolling in that one. But anyway.
So they're going to stay in the present, obviously, but then how are they going to fix the timeline?
So my original question was, like, wasn't the timeline already jacked up the way they couldn't go back?
Yeah, something was physically stopping them from going back, but I wonder, I think that might have been explained away by Secret Wars stuff.
Yeah, I guess that, sure. Okay.
Yeah, blame Secret Wars.
Yeah, because even after that, it was like, okay, we saw a whole bunch of time travel going on, even after Secret Wars happened, and there was some allusion to whether time was messed up or not. So, sure, yeah. Okay.
Blame it on the stars that shine. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So, that is XMen Blue number 19.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, because I've been trying to give it a chance, and I dropped this book, from a physical pull list a long time ago, and I just don't particularly care to read
It's my favorite X-Men book.
Yeah, I find that remarkable, so that's I'm glad for it.
Yeah, I'm reading Gold, but it's like I don't care anything about this Negative Zone arc.
Mm-hmm.
Gold kind of a lot of time in the past, meaning they've pretty much brought up a whole bunch of stuff like, hey, remember this.
Yeah, XMen Blue has stayed true to its legacy. It's felt more. It's really felt more X-Men-y.
Yeah, Gold is definitely like mining the nostalgia mine,
which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, yeah.
I just need them to get this arc over with.
In the Negative Zone, I agree with that. All right, so President Bartlett.
What's next?
Hey, speaking of things ending, anybody read Secret Warriors 12?
I downloaded it tonight, but I also have to read number 11. So,
okay. Well, I mean, I would say there's probably not much to spoil, but I guess there is. So, almost like Mr. Miracle this week. Wait, no, that's probably not. That's not. Wait, either way, the thing takes place during something happens basically, and it's nothing real bad. But basically, the team gets together one last time, including Ilyana, who pops in for a second or two, because well, what the weird thing about it, apparently, Lunalla's gotten everybody together, telling them that it's her birthday. to which people took to and brought like cakes and stuff, and then they're all at her
Show up?
So what?
I said, did 50 Cent show up?
No.
I'm sorry. I have not been drinking, ladies and gentlemen.
So they get together at Lunana's apartment. The parents are away, and they get into a game of actually they get into a game of Secret War, which technically is Risk. And some things happen, not necessarily like eventful things, but there's a lot of things get hashed out. Let's just say it's an interesting end to the book. I will say. So you, even with what I've said now, you check it out. It's like, okay, that's all right, And at the end of the book, obviously, Rosenberg, excuse me, it's like, well, we couldn't get everything we wanted in the book, and this and that and the other, and said his, goodbye to the team and all that kind of stuff, which was kind of heartfelt and this, that, whatever. And the artist also gotta page himself to do some stuff, to talk about some stuff. But what I found, the reason why I mentioned it up, because that in the other page, Rosenberg was like, yeah, we probably won't hear from this crew anytime soon because I've messed them up. So I was like, that's it was. I assumed that was a joke, but at the same time, like, you never know. But it was a good read, I thought. So it was pretty cool. Sad to see this book go, but that's kind of the way. And he's not shaking off about it because he got other books. So,
all right, what else you guys got? Because you guys read a lot more than I did.
Yeah, and half of the stuff can be like rapid fire, actually.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't mind, then I'll bring up something real quick. Let's see if there's something. Ms. Marvel number 26.
Talk about, but go ahead.
Ms. Marvel number 26.
Oh yeah, yes.
This is actually a pretty enjoyable read. So we are on the replacement Ms. Marvel crew. That's the focus of the story. The last few issues, while Kamala's kind of on a vision quest to find herself.
On sabbatical or whatever. Yeah.
So the substitute Ms. Marvel crew finds themselves far overmatched by one of Ms. Marvel's original nemesis, which is the Inventor. It's it's revealed in this issue that that is in fact I guess the big bad of this particular arc, and it takes the entire substitute Ms. Marvel crew to kind of deduce what's been happening in Jersey City while Kamala Khan's been away, and Red Dagger shows up to give them a hand.
Right. It kind of didn't, because actually, because you think about it, when Zoe, who was out with Red Dagger when they fought that one creature, she was kind of one to kind of put together, because she was one of the ones that was there when the Inventor attacked initially.
Right.
So he went back and kind of told the others, and then that's when they all was like, okay, well, this is that and the other and that. And then, like, yeah, after that, Red Dagger kind of found them, and they're going to tackle them next issue, I guess. So I was like, okay, you're a team. I was thinking of, because I called them the Scoobies in my notes, because
that's a good one.
Because that's usually how stuff like that goes. But it's like, well, it's Team Miss Marvel or whatever the case may be. So they're as replacements go. So, but it was cool. Like I said, yeah, I mean, Miss Marvel's been consistent between at least a couple of us on the panel. So this one is not that much of a surprise that it was good. It's just,
Yep.
So it's just, it's like, well, this is without Kamala, so it could go either way, and it still kind of holds up.
Well, it's kind of cool that that Kamala has this created this erstwhile kind of support staff underneath, like that works alongside her.
Right. Well, I guess worked alongside her because they don't even know who she is.
Exactly. Well, they work alongside Ms. Marvel, so
right. So, which also kind of makes me wonder. I was like, wonder if she's gonna actually end up telling them.
I don't know.
not necessarily the thing that has to happen, but you know.
All right, it's a good question.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, what do you think? Do you think we're in rapid fire time, or one or two more books?
Rapid fire sounds good to me.
All right, so let me rattle off a couple, and let me announce a rapid fire time. Actually, let me circle up the Vulcan. And let's talk about Daredevil number 597. So this is the first issue with Matt Murdock being a part of Wilson Fisk's administration as mayor of the city of New York. Matty has been appointed first deputy mayor, which does not apparently put him in the line of succession for mayor of New York City. And basically, it's an issue that deals with his first day on the job. Some characters, namely Foggy, approaching Matt and trying to figure out, what he's trying to get at. There's actually, believe it or not, guest star in the book from the Inhumans. And eventually, what we find is, despite this book seeming to take another turn and maybe making it a Kingpin-centric storyline, we find that Muse, this is the I believe it's the Inhuman who's making art out of dead bodies and people, and who blinded Blind Spot. He's making a return, and he performed some pretty grand looking graffiti on the municipal building in downtown Manhattan. So that's that, if you wanted to take a look at that. And in terms of any other books, Mech Cadet U number 5. This is the start of a new storyline. We find the cadets in the aftermath of their first major skirmish with the Sharg, and they're being punished for disobeying orders, and they're put on janitorial duty. But of course, they can't avoid trouble even doing that. So, that's the story. That's the start of their next arc. So this is a good jumping on point for anyone who wants to read a really nice, like a well put together story. I definitely recommend reading issues 1 through 4. But if you're going to jump on, you can jump on now with issue number 5. And that's pretty much it for me.
I can do mine next as I scroll down.
Actually, yeah, we got at least one encampment. So,
which one is that? So I can skip it.
No, you can go.
Okay. Very quickly, Cable 153. We've discovered that Gideon is the one that's been killing his fellow externals. It's pretty much all there is to that. He battles Celine and some of the fellow externals. They end up having to turn to Cable for help because they can't stop him. Detective Comics 972, I think, is the beginning of the Fall of the Batman, or part 2 of the Fall of the Batman. Actually, no, it's part 1. Even though it continues from whatever previous arc. It sort of follows Clayface as he resorts back to his evil ways because he can't control himself, and he's been put in this tough situation, and he just responds the only way he knows how, and that's by being evil instead of trying to fight. Old Man Hawkeye number 1 was better than I thought it was going to be. So it takes place 5 years before the events of Old Man Logan, when Hawkeye he's losing his eyesight, and it's steadily increasing. So he goes on one last mission before he before he loses his eyesight. So we get appearances from Old Man Logan, Hawkeye's daughter, the Madrox gang,
Venom,
and a mysterious villain who I guess is going to play a role in this.
No, it's not mysterious. I think that's
well, it's not mysterious. It's just he's
yeah. And also Venom, like I said, shows up.
Yeah, the Venom symbiote.
Yeah.
Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 18, is continuing this. It seems like it's been stretched out so long, this smart, intelligent, Bizarro story arc. Titans, number 19, sees the Justice League disband the Titans, not Teen Titans, the Titans over.
I'll suspend them, but it's not really clear because it was like they kind of like disband them, but it was like, no, we're not.
Yeah, it wasn't done in the smoothest manner.
Yeah.
Because of the Troya situation. Venom 160 is the penultimate issue of the Venom's Inc. crossover with Amazing Spider-Man. I'm kind of be glad when this is over with, so Amazing Spider-Man can get back to doing what it had been doing. And that's it.
Cool. And that just leaves me with like 1, 2, 3. Pardon me. Excuse me. And starting off with Black Panther, Long Live the King, number 3. So T'Challa finds out the source of some creatures that's been affecting vibranium, and comes to find out that there's an old childhood friend of his. And at the same time, finds out that the White Gorilla cult is causing some shenanigans around the way, and you can pretty much guess who's going to show up the next issue. Let's see. Oh, Catalyst Prime Excel number 7. So Daniel is in Antarctica because he was asked to go in there to kind of get the full extent of his powers. And I know he had been kind of doing that on his own, but some government type research agencies wants to get the full extent of his powers, so he goes there and also because they pay him to do that. He starts off with a test, ends up in the crazy world he usually ends up in when he's running, and they end up getting a whole bunch of information from it, and also he ends up in a fight with a creature that comes from somewhere out of that. Let's see. And I think last but not least, oh no, actually, I do have another one. Darth Vader number 10.
Right, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah. So this pretty much caps off what's been going on the last couple of issues in that the Vader's at the Jedi Temple, and so is Jedi Master Jocasta Nu. They faced off last issue and starting into this one. Jocasta Nu knows who Vader is, which you figured, hey, that was only going to end up one way from that, but they end up having some words with each other because they were both kind of there for the same reason. But in an interesting twist, Vader does some Vader things and doesn't necessarily complete his mission for the Emperor, but he does kind of end things on one front. And at the end of the issue, we see something that Jocasta Nu set up potentially come at somewhere along the line. We don't know when that's going to happen. But it would seem like we're looking forward to see something's going to happen with something she's been doing the last couple of issues, and whether she's still around or not, it's not necessarily known. Because normally, when somebody's been gotten rid of in this book, do you normally see it, and you don't in this issue? That doesn't necessarily mean that it couldn't happen or that it didn't happen, but I don't know. That's still kind of open air. So there is that one. That one's going to, I think I've said it before, like whatever is happening here feels like it's probably going to come out somewhere else. Unfortunately, it did not happen when I thought it was in The Last Jedi, but it is what it is on that one. Or maybe some of it didn't, I just don't remember. Either way, that's that. Last book is also Star Wars related in that it is Star Wars Force of Destiny Raid number 1. So, picture it. Force Awakens.
Sicily, 1940.
Young girl named Rey meets this little girl named BB-8 out in the deserts of Jakku. Well, and then she takes this droid to Nema Outpost. Well, this story is basically what happens in between the time that they met and leading up to going to the outpost, basically. which apparently a lot happened because that didn't show up in the movie. This story kind of shows. So clearly, these are some stuff got cut out of the movie, or they just kind of squeezed this in here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was an interesting read. It was cool, action packed. Great story. If you like it, go for it. I'm done.
Cool.
Clicks of the week.
Clicks of the week. Yeah, Mr. Miracle number 6.
I was gonna go with that, but I think I'm gonna do XMen Blue number 19.
Nice.
Oh, jeez. No pressure, fellas. I'm
sorry.
Oh, good. I don't know. I'm slightly torn between Secret Warriors and XMen Gold Annual, but I think I'm actually going to go with XMen Gold Annual just because it's Excalibur. That was fun. Like that, it could have been a little bit. They could have done a little bit more with that one, but it was still enjoyable. And the little kid's adorable.
Gotcha.
Alrighty. Time for ad read.
Yes, that's what I'm queuing up. So as we transition from our reviews into our news section, our first ad read of the night is courtesy of a brand new sponsor of the Cold Slither Podcast Network. I'm talking about Funko. Fun at first sight. Your home for exclusive collectibles, such as their world-famous pop vinyl bobbleheads, exclusive apparel, t-shirts, hats, and socks, and exclusive brand merchandise, custom DIY pop figures, art books, and skateboards. And now, the listeners of the KLIQ Nation's comic book Chronicles can enjoy 10% off your entire purchase when shopping at Funko. To place your first order with 10% off, and to help keep our show free for you, go to our network website at cspn.us. That's cspn.us. Then click on the Keep Our Podcasts Free link at the top of the page. From there, scroll down to the Funko link and place your order. When you get to the checkout, put in the offer code SHOP10, SHOP10 for your 10% off discount. Funko through cspn.us. Do it today. And now we lead into the news. What happened?
No, like I said, there was some Funko stuff on here that was announced that I totally forgot to put in the lineup. But it's okay.
News.
Okay.
Alrighty. First up in the cinematic news of the week, we have Spawn Reboot is a supernatural thriller, not a superhero movie.
Yep. It's a thing.
Yep.
And apparently, I think, I don't know if it's in this article, but apparently Spawn's not going to talk.
Yeah, I saw that later this week.
I was like, huh? All right, sure. But yeah.
He doesn't need to speak.
Yeah, I thought about that. That's true.
Supergirl poster teases Mon-El's Legion of Superheroes costume. So all the DC shows kick back off next week, I believe.
Yep. Still not caught up.
Green Lantern, Omega Men could appear on Sci-Fi's Krypton, teases Johns. Omega Men would be cool. I need to get that, was it 12 issues or whatever in a trade format?
That was all right from what I read of it.
Krypton producer has 7 to 8 year plan for the series.
Which sounds crazy, but if you think about the fact that Gotham's been going on for like 4 already, not so crazy.
Has it been that long?
Mm-hmm.
And Arrow's been on for
6.
sits. Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean that's the Arrowverse stuff. Like this, like people are like kind of poo-pooing Gotham and this, but
Oh, the poo-poo one will continue.
Yeah,
that's true. But like I still don't think Krypton probably needed to happen. But hey, if they got a plan, run with it.
Yep. Constantine animated series will be darker than live action show.
So yeah, Matt Ryan's coming back to Legends of Tomorrow in an upcoming arc, and so with that recently, well, actually that news has been out, but recently there's been news about this particular animated series coming, just like the other ones that have come before it. So, and I think Matt Ryan is indeed reprising his role in the animated verse, of course. Yep. It's going to be on CW Seed, and they're not saying it could lead to anything else, but they're basically doing what they couldn't do. Sounds like they're going to try to do some stuff they couldn't do on the NBC show, which is a shame because the NBC show wasn't bad, but yeah, it missed some beats, or actually not even missed some beats, but they couldn't do but so much on it at the time. So Constantine fans rejoice.
The voice cast for DC Suicide Squad Hell to Pay is announced.
Yep. Kristen Slater, Billy Brown, Liam McIntyre, Christian Bayer, Gideon, C. Thomas Howell, a bunch of other people.
Tara Strong.
Yep, Tara Strong, as always. Vanessa Williams is Amanda Waller? Huh. I don't know which one.
Which Vanessa you got?
I assume the actress one. Well, I guess they're both actresses.
Yeah. It doesn't say Elle or the other one, so I'm going to...
I'm assuming the Melrose Place one. But hey,
yeah.
you never know.
That's what I'm thinking. And she's been on Flash a couple of times, so that kind of makes a little bit more sense than other Vanessa Williams.
Lindsay Lohan campaigns for the role of Batgirl on Twitter.
Ooh.
Meh.
That's kind of what people have been saying.
Ooh.
I mean, we probably have to look, but yeah, nobody wants that.
Ant-Man 3 might be coming, says Michael Pena.
I feel like that's an inevitable, but sure.
3 movies out of Ant-Man. Go figure.
Amazing, right?
I'm interested. I gotta see what the second one's gonna be like. I mean, it'll be cool because they'll have
Wasp,
Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh yeah,
Bill Foster, which is kind of funny given I'll talk to y'all about this afterwards though, but there was something funny about that after that somebody brought up earlier in a panel I was watching. But yeah, like we're getting Ant-Man, Wasp, and we assume they're going into the multiverse. Well, they're going into the microverse, so which could lead to something in the Avengers movies from rumors.
Right.
But who knows what 3 could bring.
Black Panther tickets are now on sale.
Hold on.
So 87 remembers last week when we were talking about when the hell is this thing going to go on sale, and sure enough, a couple of days ago, it's when that happens.
Did you guys get yours?
Oh yeah,
not yet.
No,
might go out this weekend and get them because I might go see Star Wars again.
I was about to say mine got whatchamacallit. I got opening night, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, same here
at the big, at the OG IMAX theater in Manhattan. And luckily enough, a friend of mine, he and his wife got tickets and got me one before I even knew they were on sale.
Yeah. Like I said, we were talking about this last week, and something else I was going to say about that. But yeah, there's also another story which I don't have it in the lineup, but apparently tickets have gone so fast that Lupita Nyong'o couldn't even get hers.
That's right, like for the showing that she wanted, yeah.
Right. So. Which brings us to actually not that one.
Black Panther lives for the beat and latest TV spot.
This was the one that we talked about this last week that it was going to happen during the national playoff, national championships of some sports ball thing, and it happened.
Let's see. Black Panther will have certain scenes specifically formatted for IMAX.
Yeah, shout out to IMAX.
Yeah, work it.
Marvel's Black Panther introduces Warriors of Wakanda in a new video.
This one came out earlier today, so this one's about the Dora Milaje in all their glory.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Black Panther sold more advance tickets in one day than any Marvel movie in history.
Which is weird because it's not weird because of that, but it was weird because you see people like, well, this is why it happened. I'm like, well, you don't say this is why it happened on any time these other movies did that. Why are you doing it for this one? But hey, good on it. And I'm pretty sure this movie's going to do all right, I think.
Just maybe.
Yeah.
It's a definite possibility.
Thor Ragnarok hammers out digital Blu-ray release dates.
Can't wait.
March 6th. You don't have that much longer.
Can't wait.
And here's the box art for the 4K version. I don't know if anybody's got 4K stuff, but sure, whatever.
I do not yet.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. But it'll be loaded with stuff.
Marvel is finally giving Black Widow her own movie.
Hold on. So is that going to screw up the the movie schedules that we've all been looking at
No.
for months?
No, because it's just in
Development hell. No, I'm kidding.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come like after like probably Captain Marvel or whatnot. And they got a writer. That's about as far as they've gotten. It sounds like, like rather. Oh, hey, people have been clamoring for it. Here you go, or here it comes.
Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Guardians 2 stunt coordinator joins Gambit.
Uh-oh. Wait.
It's not too much of a biggie. Gore. What?
Avengers 4 may actually be a Secret Wars adaptation.
And there's that.
Yeah. Which makes sense given it's Infinity War and what came after Infinity? Oh, yeah.
Infinity Infinity before Secret Wars. Hey, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah. Now, granted, the Infinity War they're taking from Infinity Gauntlet, yes, but we've also seen stuff that they seem to be taking from the Hickman run of Infinity too. So
definitely, it's a melding of the two.
Mm-hmm. So before anybody asks me or whatever,
right? Sorry,
right.
Go ahead.
And you mentioned that one already. The Winter Soldier and Guardians 2 stunt coordinator, John Gambit. But
Gore Verbinski pulls off of Gambit movie.
Yep.
That's a odd wording.
Well, off deadline.
Could say it's Gambit movie.
Oh, because he was supposed to be the director.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Which is like the third director to come off of that one. But it's still
I'm kidding.
First official look at Venom movie expected this week.
What do you guys think? Cautious optimism?
Don't care.
Oh, yeah.
Nope. Especially after that lackluster first image of Eddie Brock.
Mm-hmm.
As someone said, it just looks like Tom Hardy. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm like, it doesn't even tie into Spider-Man movies. Why is this happening? Of course, you can say that about Silver and Black, but then again, you can make a better case for that. I don't know. I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Which I forgot to tell y'all, there's another sheet of news. So.
Report. Deadpool director developing Kitty Pryde solo film.
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah.
And then they were like redoing their whole scheduling for the next year and a half.
Yeah.
With the release date, so go figure.
The funny part about this is they probably would have done something like this even if the Disney Fox thing hadn't gone through. But the fact that they're doing this is like, yeah, sure, open the floodgates.
Vin Diesel is in talks to star in the film adaptation of Bloodshot.
Which I could have sworn dude from Power Rangers was doing Bloodshot.
No, he's doing Ninjak.
Okay, yeah, or Ninjak, whatever.
Well, he's doing Ninjak for that. Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe, whatever.
Okay.
Straight to DVD, whatever.
Gotcha. Oh, sure.
Spielberg's Halo TV series still in very active development.
Okay, this is probably less comic book related, but they have been Halo comic books, so yeah.
Star Trek Discovery has been dropping spoiler clues all along.
I mean, mirror universe. Yeah, sure. Let it ride. It just started back this past week. I haven't read any more than the title of his article because I have not caught up yet. So.
And Mark Hamill and Ron Perlman cast in Transformers animated series. And Samoa Joe, don't forget him.
Apparently this article does say that down at the bottom. So there's Judd Nelson, which that's kind of funny. Will Wheaton, Jamie King, Samoa Joe, as you said, and who's Mikey Way? Who cares? But yeah, this is the Machinima Transformers thing that's been kind of going on for a minute. So there you go.
Let's see. Is this new spillover for the comics?
I think there's one. No, yeah, that's the spillover. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom King. Yeah, we talked about that already. Or Tom King and Mitch Gerads.
No. Wait. This is still cinematic. The stuff on the second page. Sorry.
Saga creators would absolutely love a musical adaptation by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Which is weird considering they said something not wanting, well, saying something about that. But then again, they've kind of come back on that one about not wanting to have a cinematic version or of Saga or something like that. But they've kind of said other things to that.
They softened their stance a little bit.
Well, I think Brian K. Vaughan was basically like, well, no one thought that Runaways was going to happen 15 years ago. So, and we talked about this before, but you know, Runaways was going to happen 15 years. So yeah, it could happen. Basically, is what he said. You know. I don't know. Stage play, Saga. It's weird enough to work.
James Gunn confirms cool details from Guardians of the Galaxy prison scene.
Basically, you see the little stripes and stuff on their uniform. They mean something, and it basically means what they did to get in prison.
Lucasfilm reveals Star Wars Last Jedi's Easter eggs.
There's a video for those in that article. Want to check that out? Or unless you're already watching the Star Wars show on YouTube, you probably have already seen it.
Yep. Avengers 4 may be teasing an alternate reality, not time travel.
Which, given some of the stuff that some of the images we've seen, would probably make some sense.
The Gifted, Skylar Samuels and talks become series regular. That's the
Cuckoos.
Cuckoos, I assume.
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe reboot starts filming this spring.
What?
that was what I was expecting.
Where's Doug? I want to hear his take on this.
John Wick 3 gets a working title ahead of filming.
Wait, hold on. John Wick 3.
There is a comic book now about it. That's the only reason why I put it in the lineup.
And John Wick TV series in the works at Stars with Keanu Reeves attached.
Which, if you remember the noise you heard earlier, that's exactly what this is, because they this stupid odd thing autoplayed a clip from the movie. So yeah, this is going to be called the Continental. Oh, by the way, that last article, the working title was like Action Cop or something like that. But you know, the actual title is probably going to be Chapter 3 of the John Wick movie, because it would make sense.
Yeah, but now I'll know that it's Alpha Cop. If I know Alpha, if I recognize the title Alpha Cop on one of the signs that said "Please move your car,"
Right.
in New York City, I'll know that it's John Wick 3. So that's cool.
Yeah. So, but moving on to this one, yeah. So apparently, Keanu's, I think this is kind of Keanu's production company or something, is basically doing a Stars thing about the Continental. If you know what, if you've watched the John Wick movies, you know what the Continental is, and therein you know what's going to be, what this show is probably going to be about. And sounds like they got people all over it behind the scenes. I don't think they have anybody for as far as acting in it, and it doesn't sound like Keanu's going to be in it, or at least not. You know, doesn't say anything about it right now.
Right.
But like I said, he's behind it. Black Lightning has a chilling racial profiling scene inspired by showrunner Salim Akil's life. So Black Lightning starting next week. Sounds like there's going to be a scene where Jefferson gets hemmed up by the police out of costume, and it sounds like it is based off of something that actually happened to the showrunner. So, and they got the clip here in the article.
I must have missed it when we were talking about the show. Did not realize that they were going to be portraying Black Lightning as significantly older than what we're used to seeing him as in the comics.
Yeah, they've mentioned that I think early on.
Right, and I'm sure you did. I probably balked at the idea, but to see the actual portrayal, even if it's just in a commercial, I was taken aback and was definitely surprised by it.
Right. I think the amusing thing to me was who it is, because Chris Williams, because he's been around doing some things. I know him mostly from like Living Single and a few places in there, which Living Single is on Hulu, by the way. So yeah, this will be it'd be interesting to see him play this. Let's see, DCU Cyborg film will be an origin story, which I figured we probably would have known that. We would have guessed that already. Despite what happened in Justice League. So Joe Morton says that Cyborg film is going to be presented as something as a origin story. That's all we know so far, is that he and Ray Fisher are going to be in it, and it's coming out April 3rd, 2020.
And Linda Hamilton pops up and tries to shoot him. What?
Oops, wrong.
Sorry, wrong universe.
Wrong. I know, right? That was funny. That would be funny.
Yeah, like if Linda Hamilton pops up in the movie and they give each other the evil eye or something. Like, wait a second.
Like, don't I know you from somewhere? Anyway, now we're at the actually wait. Yeah, now we're at the comic book news.
So we talked about Mr. Miracle #6 already. Bendis takes on Superman for Action Comics 1000.
At least that's the
allegedly
report.
In a backup story. Before he probably takes on the series afterwards. Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn shows off Captain America's suit.
I believe has a Captain Marvel type looking suit, but
yeah, that was the first one. They had a Captain Marvel suit for I guess the team, but this is her showing off a Captain America inspired one.
Asian American creatives are coming together on a new hashtag, and it's damn beautiful.
Yep. So Greg Pak was out there on Twitter, and he I think I don't know if it was just him, but I know he
was one of the people who began it.
Right. And the hashtag is ASAM creator roll call, Asian American roll call, creator roll call. And it's gotten some good buzz to it.
Cebulski, Yu, and Tolibao to headline Philippines Marvel Creative Day out 2018.
So they actually had two real Filipino dudes and TV Cebulski who pretended to be Japanese.
I was gonna say, I was like, I guess get to his Japanese root, go back to his Japanese roots. Yeah, so suppose actually the event has already happened a couple of days ago. It was focused on design experts of comic books and stuff.
A Thor Ragnarok inspired Maiden Wuin Valkyrie is Marvel's new Exiles member.
I think that was one of the other ones that had not been announced. So yes, we get Thor Ragnarok Valkyrie in the new Exiles team. There might be one other, I can't remember, that hasn't been announced, but
no, that was the only one not announced.
Okay, I thought it was somebody else, but
it's interesting. I like how they depicted her. Like it's a very streamlined look from the movie. You know, obviously inspired by the movie, but I like the costume design.
Yeah,
Javier Rodriguez, man, does good work.
Yes.
And Tessa Thompson was you know, I think she did a gif where it was like when you find out your character's in the book or something like that, which was kind of cute.
And the character is being looked at for Marvel games, because why not?
Right.
Batman: The Enemy Within Chapter 4 release date.
That is next week, or yeah, next week actually. If you haven't played those Batman Telltale Series, they are pretty good. You should check it out. They're not like canon stories, but they're pretty cool episodic stories.
This Black Panther pin has one very serious problem.
Yeah, it does.
This is what we talked about last week, isn't it?
No, we didn't.
Oh no, okay.
No, we talked about the figure. So Disney, if you know about Disney parks, they sell or give away these, or not give away, but they give these pins, like the ones you've seen me show off when I open up the boxes. And apparently they don't have the thing here. But basically, the pin is fine until you look at the eyes, which are white. So you can see the
eyeball. I was gonna say the eyeballs are white, obviously, right. But it's the skin, the parts of the eye that are exposed,
right.
The eye slots,
eye socket parts. So if you're watching the video, you can see the picture of it, which clearly is not right. So yeah, that was the thing.
So are they fixing them? Is there an update to that?
No, I haven't seen an update about it. And well, we'll get to some sad news here.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm absolutely gonna watch my tongue on this, because if I ever get to be, how old is Stan? 95?
95.
Yeah, you know what?
Well, so there's been follow-up to this one, whether anybody cares or not. So Stan Lee was accused of sexual misconduct by home care nurses.
We're not talking about when he was 45, we're talking about when he's 95 or 94.
Right. So yeah, there's, according to the Daily Mail, which take that for what it is, a string of young female nurses claim that Lee repeatedly groped and harassed them, demanded to be pleasured, and of course, there's been some pop-up about that throughout social media in little ways. But the follow-up to that is that Stanley's legal team responds to the accusations. Yeah, they basically said he didn't do it. If to take away from it. Or actually, here we go. We'll say to this. We are not aware of anyone filing a civil action or reporting these issues to the police, which for any genuine claim would be more the appropriate way for it to be handled. Instead, Mr. Lee has received demands to pay money and threats that if he does not do so, the accuser will go to the media. Mr. Lee will not be extorted or blackmailed and will pay no money to anyone because he has done absolutely no wrong. Which, there you go. But and I think last week, didn't we talk about where somebody was reportedly stole some money from him for something else?
Yeah.
we did talk about that.
Unfortunately, Stan has been in the news for things, not exactly positive. So
Yeah. So it's been, it's been a thing.
all right, so let's talk about this next one because this caught my eye. So Bendis explains the Ultimate Universe's return. Yes, it's really back. Tell us about this.
Well, I mean, there's not much of a actually. This goes back to the conversation you and I had the last couple of weeks about Spider-Man 2, which you guys know more about it. Which Tim, actually, I'm glad you're here because you might be able to shed some light about it if you were reading this, which I thought you were.
I was.
So at the end of Spider-Man 2, it seems like I think Miles went through a portal or something, and
right, the 616 Miles.
Right. Presumably that is the new Ultimate Universe.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently the
Miles of the Prime Marvel Universe went to the Ultimate Universe to find the wife, his alternate reality wife, since his died in the Prime Universe, and he runs into the Ultimates and Spider-Man. Peter is alive because he was resurrected before the Ultimate Universe was destroyed in the incursion for Secret Wars. There's an Ironheart there and resurrected heroes. So the multiverse again is back, and Bendis just felt like bringing it back because supposedly fans missed it. And of course, Fantastic Four are out there repopulating the multiverse. So makes sense storyline wise.
So yes, and there's a quote from Bendis saying, "I brought the Ultimate Universe back because so many people brought up to me that's supporting it for all those years, and now having it gone was just a bummer." He wrote, "I agreed, not for ego, even though I'm sure there's a little bit in there, but as a fan, I agree with the sentiment." I'm going to go with ego, but whatever, because that was kind of his baby,
Yep.
We don't know what's going to happen to it because, like I said, he's not going to be around for it. So I don't know. Maybe they will try to resurrect something.
Squirrel Girl introduces the next Marvel movie, Dream Team.
So yeah, apparently the Squirrel Girl teamed up with Loki and Drax, and I think it might have been last week's comic, and people are buzzing.
There's my article for XMen Blue reveals the mastermind behind the Teen's Broken Time Stream.
Go check that out.
Yep. David Brothers, formerly of Image, joins Viz as an editor.
Congrats, because he's been all up into manga, so this was a good fit for him. So congrats to that brother.
Oni Press names new publisher, more staff changes as it looks ahead to 2018. Chris Vision's undergoing eye surgery following partial blindness.
I saw this picture and I thought of Slick Rick for one quick minute.
Oh no!
Definitely a speedy recovery to him.
Yes.
Yeah, for real.
An artist adapted 3 of 2017's best genre films into very cool mini comics.
So yeah, some good stuff.
Hot Toys reveals a new Boba Fett figure from Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back.
And it's got a lot of stuff with it, apparently. So, sure.
Marvel Comics regains Conan license.
Yeah, this dropped today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or yesterday?
Yes.
I saw ads for, I saw articles and pictures of this.
Yeah, which I totally forgot before reading this article that Marvel even had the Conan license.
Same here. Nice Esad Ribbit cover.
Oh, true.
Oscar winner John Ridley explores iconic moments in DC Comics history. That was announced today. So the other history of the DC universe is going to be a prestige comic book miniseries. It's going to look at some of the key moments from DC Comics history through the lens of, I guess, African American, not even African American, just minority comic book characters. I think Some listed. Is it here? Do they list the ones that are gonna appear?
Didn't say.
I think some of the
Well,
larger. Yeah, there it is. John Stewart, Estrano, Vitson, Supergirl, Katana, and Renee Montoya.
So I was going to ask if this is something like the Encyclopedia Black Comics or something.
Not sure what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's said to be color, not color, but
graphic.
It'll have images.
That's cool.
And last but
a live stream. Sorry, there's going to be a live stream about it this Saturday at 11 a.m. on the DC YouTube channel. So check that out if you're watching this live.
There'll be a couple streams for their panels this weekend, the DC and DC weekend, with TV stars and comic book creators. And last but not least, Marvel's Black Panther: The Illustrated History of a King preview is available.
Yeah, this just dropped like as we started. So apparently, there's going to be a hardcover book about this. It is available now. It goes through. Looks like it goes through the Marvel Knights era of Black Panther with Christopher Priest stuff and some other stuff. So that's cool.
Ad read. All right, so we are finally heading into the tail end of the show. Our last ad read of the night is for Blue Apron's meal delivery service. Blue Apron. Fresh ingredients and incredible recipes delivered weekly to your door. Skip the grocery store and make incredible meals at home with Blue Apron, always shipped free right to your home. And now, the listeners of the KLIQ Nation's Comic Book Chronicles can get $30 off your first Blue Apron order. To place your first order with $30 off, and to help keep our show free for you, go to our network website at cspn.us. That's cspn.us. Then click on the Keep Our Podcast Free link at the top of the page. From there, scroll down to the Blue Apron link and sign up for your first order. Blue Apron through cspn.us. Do it today.
So real quick before we end up, I just want to say this real quick. It's kind of a box opening, I guess. So I got this nice little glove thing, Black Panther glove. Yes, it is the one that you've seen in the commercials. It's kind of cool. I kind of want to get me another one. It's like a hard plastic thing. It's got light up claws, and I think it's motion sensitive. It lights up. It's kind of cool. Whether I'm gonna wear it to the Black Panther, I'm supposed to light up, but apparently it's not right now. Nevertheless, motion sensitive. It's kind of cool. I don't know if I'm going to wear this to the Black Panther opening, because that seemed like it might get distracting if I hit something wrong at the wrong time. But it's cool. So there you go.
Alrighty.
Very cool.
Follow us on our individual Twitter accounts. I'm at TimDLGG98 and at CBCron. Roddy Cat is at Roddy Cat and at News Nerds Needs and at CBCaps on Instagram. Agent 70 is at Agent_70 on Twitter and Instagram. And also make sure to follow our friend PCN_Dirt on Twitter. And go to his website, popculturenetwork.com. We'll be back next week to review some more fine comic books and talk about the comic book news and movie television news. But with that, we are the Comic Book Chronicles, and we are signing off.
Peace!